Welcome to the Daily Swole. Welcome to the Daily Swole number 20. Yes, we're right here with number 020, talking about training splits. You like that intro? Nice. Welcome, everyone. Welcome on the YouTube. Welcome on the Periscope. And Busker, welcome. Number 20. 2 mother 0. Episode 20. Training splits of the Daily Mother Swole. Welcome, everyone. And no, it's not a waste on Periscope, you Busker people, you scallywags. Well, let's just jump right into the fat and the nips of training splits. I definitely want to field some Q&A. I want to get some Q&A, so I want all my loyals, all you people that are watching live. Remember, you can watch this every day live at 12 noon Eastern time. I want you to come up with some awesome questions, even if you know the answer, because someone that's listening later on YouTube or on SoundCloud or iTunes, they might not know what you know. So generate some conversation, get some other people thinking, help each other out. Let's all get absolutely fucking huge. Training splits. Let me go first into what a training split is. Everyone knows what a training split is, even if you don't know what a training split is. And what this means is what you do on what day for your workout. Now, we all go off a 7-day cycle in general. Just because the day, the week starts on Monday, and then it goes Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Godfather style. So, what was it? Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday. All right. It takes practice. We either go on a Monday through Sunday or a day 1 through 7. That's common. 1 through 7 or Monday through Sunday. Okay, maybe you plan your rest days and whatnot, but that's all what comes into a training split. So you can do a couple things. We're just going to throw some things out there and explain what the difference is. I'm not going to go over every single option because there is unlimited. But you can do, for example, upper body on Monday, lower body on Tuesday, rest on Wednesday, or just some aerobics, some cardio type stuff, and then go back to upper body on Thursday, lower body on Friday, and so forth. Okay, so that's one example of a training split. You could do more of a bodybuilding split where it's chest on Monday, International Chest Day, legs on Tuesday, back on Wednesday, let's say shoulders on Thursday, arms on Friday, or a day off on Thursday and then shoulders and arms on Friday. And that's another example of a training split. Makes sense, right? You could do push-pull, where you do all pushing movements like triceps, chest, shoulders, and some squats on one day, and then pulling like rows, you work your back, you do maybe some side raises, do some bicep curls, and some hamstrings or something like that. So you could do push-pull splits, you could do upper-lower, you could do isolated chest and triceps, back and biceps. Those are just some different examples, and I'm sure if you work out, you have some kind of routine. You have some kind of routine, and that's your split. That is what you do. That is your training split. Now, what you may not realize is that training splits go off what I have determined very loosely and very casually 4 major points, okay? 4 major elements determine your training split. Number 1 is your goal. Okay, and this is not in order of importance necessarily. These are just 4 big points. Okay, yeah, throw some hearts up there. Come on, let's not fall asleep here on the live broadcast. I know everyone's entranced by my hair and my beard and my gains, but let's blow this. There we go. Let's blow this thing up. Let's fire up these heart balloons. Depends on your goal. So, for example, if you're trying to bulk up and build mass, if you're trying to shred and you're trying to cut, these are 2 very different goals. Or if you're just going for general health purposes, these are 3 general goals. Trying to lose weight, cut, shred, trying to bulk up a lot, or you're trying to just, I want to work out for health. 3 very different ways that you can split up your routine. If you're trying to bulk up, you generally want to do more volume and more rest periods between body parts. You're trying to bulk, you're trying to increase your overall size and mass. So building a lot of muscle usually requires more focus, more stress on different muscles, isolation, such as a separate day for chest or a separate day for chest and shoulders, chest and back. You're breaking it up more because let's say you go, and we'll get into this in a later topic point today, if you're going to the gym for, let's just say, an hour, If you do a total body for an hour, there's less you could do for each body part, right? If you go to the gym for an hour and just do chest, you have an hour all on chest. That's a lot more volume, a lot more reps, a lot more sets you could do just on chest. Okay, this is going to come into play in the next topic point, which is experience. Your experience in the gym. If you are a novice, you've never worked out before in your life, it is not only detrimental, it is downright dangerous to start on a large extended split, like a day for chest, like a day for back, like a day just for legs. Because you haven't built that base. You haven't built that exposure from your body in order to handle that kind of volume. And in general, when you talk about sports science, when you talk volume, you are referring to reps times sets. Now, I've talked before, and many of you that follow me regularly, you know that I generally do not, I have an idea, but I generally do not count reps or sets for myself. I generally don't. This is just because my way of instinctual training, the way my body works, the way I work mentally in the gym, it's not something that I prefer for myself, but that's through trial and error. It doesn't mean I don't have any idea that I don't know the difference between myself doing 2 sets or 10 sets. I have an idea, I'm doing a lot of sets, but I don't necessarily say, I'm going to do 8. So understand that. It doesn't mean, just because I say I don't count reps or sets, doesn't mean that I don't know how many I've done. But it just means I don't set a goal so I don't limit myself. I don't say I'm going to do 5 because then either I do 4 or 6. I'm either failing. I don't set a limit. I just do it and then, I did about 6 or 7. Sometimes I remember. Sometimes I know I did about 7 or 8. One set's not going to make or break my gains, obviously. For those that are miring on the tube or live, let's be honest. No, I'm just joking. Oh my goodness, the perks of watching this live. Everyone on YouTube is like, this guy's a dick. No, I'm just joking. You know me. If you follow me, you know me. You know we like to mire the gains. That's why I get so many hearts on Periscope and Busker. If you're an amateur or if you're an expert, this means that you have a base. You have more of a solid foundation where you can start breaking down your workouts a little bit more. Instead of doing total body, instead of doing upper body, lower body splits, push, pull. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Even experts can go and do something like a push, pull because you are, for example, doing a deloading week, going light for a couple weeks. You have an injury. You just need a little bit of rest, but you want to keep your body moving. So an amateur and expert has the ability to focus more on certain body parts. It's safer. It's not only that, it's healthier. You can overload, create more stress on bone density, create more muscle definition, more density, more solidity, and increase your resistance and your adaptation to increase stress. So it's important to understand the difference between the training splits in terms of experience. A newer person, someone who has not have a lot of experience, someone that is new in the gym should not be doing isolated body parts, should not be isolating chest, should not just be isolating back. If you do, it's not you're going to die. First off, you could get hurt. You can get a lot of inflammation. It's normal to get micro tears. It's normal to get inflammation. It's normal to get low levels of inflammation when you work out. That's what soreness is. That's part of what soreness is. But you can get traumatically sore to the point where it's going to affect you working out for days to come. It doesn't make sense for you to work out on Tuesday, beat yourself up so bad that you can't even move and work out until Friday or Saturday. What the hell is the point of that? What's the point of that CrossFit? What's the point of that people that work out? What's the point of that people that exercise? That's why it's not training. That's why it's not training, because you're working your body, you're beating yourself up to beat yourself up, and now you're sore, and now you can't move. Great, you just lost 3 days of working out. Obviously, it was too much. That trauma is too much, and I know this from experience. I've done this. I've worked out to the point where I could barely walk. How the hell would I do a barbell? If I did legs to the point where I need a wheelchair, how can I do barbell rows? How could I do, let's say, deadlifts if I split them up on a different day? How could I do anything? How can I do anything standing up or anything that requires my base to be strong, which is pretty much everything? You need to be healthy. Okay, because if you have tight legs and your hips are all locked up, all of a sudden you lose that mobility in the hips because of the inflammation, and then it affects your lower back, and you could twist a disc or something just by grabbing a dumbbell off the rack simply, or picking something up off the ground because your body is so traumatized and your muscles start guarding itself. Your muscles start guarding to protect the sore muscles. So you can really injure yourself. You can really damage yourself by doing too much, not to mention time lost in the gym. Right. So experience, goal and experience. Are you taking notes? It's okay. You could replay this, so I guess it doesn't matter. Time, frequency spent in the gym on a single day, and also how many days a week. Some of you have children. Some of you have jobs where you're restricted or how many times you can work out in a week. Some of you can't make it on the weekends. You just can't. The gyms don't have daycare. The gyms don't have daycare. They can't. You have no one to watch your kids. I get that. Some of you need to be home because you have to watch your children. You have to be home because you have a job, or you just can't make it to the gym because you work doubles on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So you can only go Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. I get that. So if you can only make it to the gym, and understand that a 7-day cycle or a Monday through Sunday, that's a calendar. Your body doesn't work off a 7-day calendar. Your body doesn't know that it's 7-day cycle. You can do a 5-day cycle. You could do a 4-day cycle. You could do a 12-day cycle. You have to find out what works for you in that respect too. A lot of studies show that anything more than like 4 or 5 days between the same body part can be, you're not going to build as much muscle mass. I find personally that I see better results when I do a shorter cycle, but that also means not going to the point where I'm crippled because I've been sore for 5 or 6 days. So you have to recover and not go to the point where you're just obliterated, because then you can hit it more frequently. Imagine if you do 4-day cycle or 5-day cycle throughout the entire year, as opposed to 7 days. Every week you're losing 2 days if you do 7. So 2 days, 52 weeks, that's 4 days? Yeah, that's quick math. That's 104 days that's a third of a year by taking 2 days and shortening your cycle. And out of those days, maybe you get 30 more workouts in for that body part. Think about that over the course of the year. You can see a lot more development, a lot more growth, and get a lot more mastery in the movements and the muscles. Just a thought, okay? So frequency, how many times a week can you make it to the gym? How long can you stay in the gym? Do you have half hour? Do you have 20 minutes? Do you have 3 hours? Do you have the whole day and you can kind of spend your time, take your time? Not that you should, but how much time do you have, and how many times a week can you work out? So your split, in other words, is going to be different if you can only make it to the gym 3 days a week, or if you can make it to the gym if you can make it to the gym 7 days a week. I'm not saying you have to do resistance training 7 days. I'm just saying you have the option to expand your split more, as opposed to someone who literally cannot make it any more than 3 or 4 times in a given week. They are restricted and they have to get everything done in that time frame. They're more restricted. They have more limitations with their scheduling splits, and that just makes sense. Right. Next one is motivation. Motivation. If you're doing a long split, again, chest on Monday, back on Tuesday, legs on Wednesday, hump day, and then you're going into Thursday, Friday, and the weekend, you have to really focus and be intrinsically motivated to go to the gym more frequently. If you're splitting up your stuff that long, you have to really expand your motivation as well. You have to spread out your motivation. I mean, anything with fitness is a marathon, not a sprint. So think about your fitness as a marathon, not a sprint. You're not going to get it in that week. You have to be consistently going to the gym, if you're going to do a split like that, 5, 6, 7 days a week, all the time. So you have to motivate yourself more often to go to the gym. You have to make preparations to go to the gym more often. Now, this becomes a habit, but at the same time, it doesn't make the motivation any less. It makes a dedication. Motivation, you could say dedication. It's different to motivate yourself to say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times this week. A lot different than saying I'm going to go to the gym 7 times every day. I'm going every day. That's sacrifice for free time. That's sacrifice if you're trying to see results on food. That's sacrifice on time, maybe with family and friends. That's sacrifice for, doing anything else in the world. That's sacrifice. You're sacrificing more of your time. And I don't think of it as necessarily sacrificing. I mean, you're replacing it. You're changing your focus to the gym more often. You're making it more of an important part of your life. You're making it more of a piece of your puzzle, a larger piece, piece of the pie. Ooh, I'm hungry. I'm ready for some pie. Yeah? Gains. That is something you have to keep in mind. Can you be consistent? Can you be dedicated? Can you focus and get to the gym and get it done like that every single day? Or are you the kind of person that it's only going to be, once in a while, maybe, 2, 3 times a week, 4 times a week if you're lucky, if you feel like it. And that also comes down to how dedicated, how much you want it, which is, I guess, is motivation, right? This next one, and I said 4 major hit points for what will determine your training split. And this is one that I'm putting here because this doesn't matter. Availability. Availability of equipment. Availability of barbells. Availability of dumbbells. Availability of equipment. You might not be able to get the goal you want. You might not be able to get massive and the muscle hardness and absolutely jacked if you only have body weight stuff. But you could still do a split where you do chest only. You could still do 30 different kinds of push-ups for an hour and be blasted. You could do isolated. You could do single leg. You could do really slow eccentric. You can crush chest and triceps only. You could do pull-ups and do, inverted rows and stuff, body weight on a separate day. So you can still split your body parts up and do more reps. You might not get the same size because the intensity, the resistance isn't there, but you can definitely see results and get more volume. That should definitely make sense for you. So in a sense, it does make a difference in terms of what your goal is, but it doesn't affect your training split. It doesn't affect your training split because as you do more body weight, you are going to adapt and you're going to need more volume no matter how you slice it. Whether you're doing push-ups and pull-ups or whether you're doing heavy bench press, you are going to adapt to X and you're going to need to add Y and Z. Okay, bish? I'm Casey Kasem. All right, let's take some questions. Training splits. Just got smacked upside the head with the dick of knowledge. Yeah, I said it and I'll say it again. I just love it. I love that visual. It's just like, training advice just whoosh, right upside the head. So welcome. I got hearts for that. You guys are filthy. Let's get some questions on training splits. Who's got a question on a training split? Anything? Let's see what we got here. What is the best training split to gain size? Now, if you're trying to gain size, if you're trying to gain mass, in general, you are going to want to move to a larger split because you want that volume. Depends on where your starting point is. If you've been working out and your body has been exposed to resistance training for a while, you want to ramp up you can ramp up pretty quickly into one of those larger splits. You could ramp up pretty quickly into one of those larger splits. You can go more rapidly into, let's say, a chest and back. You can go more rapidly into a chest and triceps, a back and biceps, a chest and biceps, back and triceps, back and shoulders, chest and shoulders, and split the other ones up. Shoulders and arms, shoulders and triceps. You can split it up more often. You still want to mix it up. You still want to mix up your split. That's something that we didn't really touch upon yet. You still want to mix up your split. You don't want to do the same split all the time. We talk about mixing up your exercise. We also talk about being consistent. Your body needs to adapt in order to grow. You need to adapt. If you keep on mixing it up too randomly, something like just exercise or something like just working out and you're going to get an exhausted workout. Okay, you leave wiped out like, wow, what a workout. Yeah, exactly. What a workout. What exercise? Whew, that exercise wiped me out. Yeah. If I was chopping down trees all day, I would be pretty tired too. If I was smashing a tire with a hammer and then running 10 miles and then doing 100 push-ups and then doing 50 pull-ups and then doing 25 squats and then doing it again, yeah, I'll be tired too. But what fucking result am I getting? What result am I getting? What's the goal? To be tired? Mission accomplished. Congratulations. I am tired. If I'm up all day, I'm tired at night. What's the difference? Yeah, I worked out, but was that right for me? If your goal is just to be tired, you are succeeding. If you have a goal, if you want to put on size, if you want to look a certain way, if you want to lose fat, if you want to cut around your midsection, if you want to build your shoulders, if you want more of a V taper, you want bigger thighs, you want bigger arms, you want a tinier waist, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, doesn't matter. If you want that, then you have to do this. I said it a million times. If you want to get 2, then you got to do a couple things. You got to do 1 plus 1, or you got to do 2 plus 0. And don't give me, oh, I could do 3 minus 1. You get my point. You need to use the tools to achieve a result. It's not fun. It's not entertainment. It's hard fucking work. Take the entertainment, take the fun out of your vocabulary, take it out of your vernacular, get it out of your system. This is not a hobby if you want results. This is not an activity if you want results. This is not just, something to do to pass the time. This is not a club. This is not, a weekly book club. This is not a seminar. This is hard work. You go to your office to make money. You go to the gym to get results. Okay, here's another question. I've been doing 4 days on and 1 day off and seeing great gains. There you go. Well, what's your split? What's your split? What's your split with the 4 days on and the 1 day off? Are you doing upper body 3 days in a row and then like legs? Or are you splitting up the upper and lower body? I'd actually want to know exactly what your split is. You could do 4 days on and 1 day is off and seeing some good gains. So every 5 day cycle, you're regenerating. I don't necessarily, and here's the thing, if you do an isolated split and you draw it out like that or you compress it, every once in a while you want to do a deloading week where you do like total body workouts, 3 days a week and take some time off. Let your body recover. Let your joints recover. Let everything kind of, settle in. Also understand if you're adding in components to your training, if you're doing an extended split, add in yoga, add in some active recovery during your cycle. You'll help joint mobility and motility. You'll help fluid transfer and synovial fluid getting in and out of the joints. You're going to help your body. You're going to help your body recover actively during your sessions and your week, and you don't have to rest as much, like take, deloading weeks. Back, chest, shoulders, legs. Okay, so that's in a row. That's fine, but you find that works for you. Sometimes in general, but you're more advanced. You're more advanced. I know because we've talked and I know you. But the activity level, your experience will allow you to do more upper body days in a row, for example. Someone who's new to a more extended split, I would recommend splitting up upper and lower body, throwing in legs, kind of to break up, like doing like a chest and then legs, rest day on a Wednesday, or chest back, rest, and then legs and then arms. Chest, back, legs, or chest, legs, back, rest day, arms, something like that. And that's a 5 day split. But here's the thing. People would do a 5 day split and use that to be like, take off Saturday and Sunday. I'm a little bit tired, honestly, of Saturday and Sunday just being assumed off days, Monday through Friday. Just because you go to work and just because you go to the gym during the week doesn't give you the excuse to take 2 days off and be a lazy ass. First off, your schedule's all shifted because you have a lot of free time. So you're not eating the same way usually. You're sleeping late, you're going out drinking and doing stuff, and then you're being extra lazy. You're eating more calories, you're being lazier, and it screws up your whole mentality. Then Monday is like, oh my God, I got to get back to the grind, Monday again. Yeah, well, if you never stopped moving, if you kept your body active, you kept going, you wouldn't have this like lurching feeling on Monday. You got to stay on point. Keep your body moving. Try to keep the same schedule. I'm not trying to be hypocritical. It's not easy, but the more regular you can keep your schedule, the better your body is. You want results? It comes down to that. If you don't have the results you want, then you got to take measures. If you don't have the results you want, you got to make the step to get results. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen just because you want it to. It's not going to happen just because you have that key tag that scans when you walk in. Just because you pay 30 or 40 bucks a month doesn't give you the right to have results. Just because you start a business doesn't give you the right to have a successful business. Okay? This is something you have to understand. And some of you know that. Think about your life. Just because you do something or just because you have a gym membership doesn't give you the right. Doesn't give you the right to have results. Just because you walk in the door, just because you're there, it's a room. I'm in a room right now. Okay? Each of you have a room. I have a room. I just happen to be doing a podcast in my room. I'm using it differently. Not that you have to do a podcast. I don't want you to do a podcast because then you're not watching my podcast. But you get the point. It's the same thing. Everyone could walk into that gym room, 200 people, 199 walk in, stare at a wall. That one person works their ass off and gets results. It's the same room. It's how you use it. It's a tool. It's how you use it. What's up, MMA fighter lookalike? I'm assuming you're talking about Conor McGregor. I've been getting that a lot lately. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining. I'll stay casually for a couple minutes after on Periscope and Busker. Remember, for those listening on SoundCloud and on the iTunes at Swolenormous on both, The Daily Swole is live every single day, holiday, snowstorm, hurricane. Well, maybe not a hurricane. If there's a hurricane here, I might lose service. But I will still make sure my battery's charged and I'm going to record something. Daily Swole every single day, 12 noon Eastern time. That's New York City time for those that are watching and listening abroad. Bring your questions. Follow me on Snapchat at Swolenormous. I will be announcing the topics as early as I create them so you can finalize your questions, think about the topics, generate some ideas. If I answer the questions live, if I hit the talking points that you were wondering about already, your question's been answered. But if I don't, you have it ready so you can get your question answered. And I will answer every applied question that I possibly can. So thank you so much for joining me again on episode 20 of The Daily Mother Swole. Hell freaking yeah. I will see everyone tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time. Peace out.